going to do is start by drawing it all out. This is going to be probably the hardest part of the whole thing, is just getting it all to length. Spring steel's pretty tough, but for now, I already took that 1-inch round, got it segregated into a square. When I cut it, I had a little bit of an angle on it whenever I did, so I'll use that. Down here it's relatively flat, but up here I'll draw this out for the corner of the tanto. Careful, don't let it bite you. Got it drawn out some more. This is going to take a little while, so once I get it closer to shape, I'll start getting some more video of it. But probably here for the next 45 minutes, all I'm going to be doing is stretching this out. So before I go back in the fire, I got it from that one little 1 by 1.5 inch circle. I've got it drawn out to about 4-ish inches right now. I got to draw it out some more. That way it'll be thin enough to be a knife, and I'm not going to have a whole bunch of extra meat to grind off. But yeah, this is where we're at so far. Slowly drawing it out, and then we'll forge it back in shape. Alright, so after about 45 minutes, I've got it stretched out relatively thin. I'm at about 3/16 on the majority of it. I need to draw that back out a little bit more because we're not quite at length yet. You can see that. But I'm gonna finish drawing it out. Then once I get it to length, I'll start to shape my bevels, and then I'll start my finger wells. That way you can hold it a little bit better. It's not just a smooth handle. But once you get down to this, swapped over from a 4-pound hammer to my titanium hammer. It's a lot lighter than that 4-pound hammer is, and I can control my hammer strikes a little bit better with that. I could use a 4-pound hammer and try and regulate my swings, but for something like this, I don't want to put extra effort into controlling swings when it's already this thin. I don't want it to pick up a kink or have it too hot and blow it apart or get stress fractures or something like that from getting it too thin. So, for here, I'm just going to keep working it back out. Still trying to draw it out too late. The more I can keep it square and in line as a rectangle, the easier it'll be when I go to forge my corner and my bends. As it gets cold, it picked up a little bow. That's nothing to bend back out though once it gets hot. But lost my crank call. I'll find it here in a minute. That spring steel, it's very, very tough. So as it gets cold and cools off, once you start to lose all your color and it starts to go from red to gray, stop. Stop swinging on it, stop hitting it. All you're going to do is introduce some stress fractures and cracks and wear your arm out because it's not going to move once it's gray. It's spring steel. It's pretty tough shit. Alright, so now I have a little bitty old slab of steel here. Now I've got it pretty close to where I want. I can stretch it out a little bit further when I put those finger wells in there. What I'm gonna do is, somewhere in here, I'm gonna carve out a little half moon shape. And when I do that, it'll force the metal back in toward the back side of the handle. Then when I hammer it back flat, it'll stretch it out a little bit more. What you're doing is you're moving the material where you want it, okay? When I do that, what it's gonna do is it's gonna mushroom right in here. When I start beating it down in on itself, when I hammer it back flat, it'll stretch it out further. I'll try and get it as best I can to show you, but it's kind of hard to see on video. It's a lot easier to see in person. So I got my fullering tool, drop that in where I want it on the handle. There you can see it started to move it. I can't get a good angle. I don't know if you can see where it swelled back out a little bit or not, but as I put that finger well deeper in, it's going to mushroom it and make this fatter. When it makes that fatter, then I can draw it back out. So I did that, but I just did twice. Got my finger well deeper. You see it started to mushroom it, pinch it from both sides. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. It's thicker right here. So what I'll do, I'll get it back in the forge, thin that back out. I'll do it again, and then back here where it's all crooked, that won't be an issue. I'll just come back, flatten this blade out a little bit more, flatten the handle out a little bit more, and we can get those divots gone and out of here. Alright, damn, I got underboob sweat going on. Anyway, I got both finger wells in there. I have it flattened back out to all just about the same thickness. I'm gonna leave a little bit on there to grind off. That way I can take most of the hammer marks out, if not all of them. And now next step is where it swoops down, where we picked up that corner using the fullering tool. I'll get it on the forge. I'll smooth that back out. What I'm gonna do is pinch it in a little bit, draw it back out, then get it to the final width that I want for the knife blade itself. So there's probably be 4 or 5 more heats, but I'll get y'all updated whenever I get this back smooth and then start on my my bevel on the corner. Looks like a regular knife, but I'm gonna get a little bit more of a straight edge on it. Then I'll probably be done with this one. I may stretch it out a little bit more, but we're already pretty much at length. I'll get that corner stretched out a little bit more. That way I can get it exactly the size that I wanted, but we're more or less done, boys and girls. All right, now that we are done with the forge for now, I'm not going to quench it yet. I'm going to leave it soft so I can do all my grinding and polishing and shaping on my grinders. But this is as close as I'm going to get it with the forge. I got a good little straight line. I drew that corner out so I could get all the way to length. All I got to do is cut that little round part off and grind it in. That won't take maybe 45 seconds with a grinder, but I'm gonna let this air cool before I start doing anything else. That way I can handle it, and then for down here I'll just Dremel in the finger wells and start all my labor on it.